Okay, hello guys. We are going to talk about Illyrians, to unveil the truth about Illyrians. This is very hidden history. In order to unveil the real truth about Illyrians, you need to know first languages which include these areas around Illyrian region. So it means you need to know Italian, you need to know Serbian, Croatian, Macedonian, and Greek, and Albanian. And then you can make some conclusions, you can unveil the proofs, you can discover the proofs. The key for these things is you need to know these languages around this region in order for you to understand hidden history of Illyrians. I'm going to quote one video of one guy who have done some research about Illyrians, and I'm going to explain to you, translate some words, and I'm going to prove to you some truth about Illyrians through the words, because I can speak these languages in this region. I can speak Macedonian, I can speak Albanian, I can speak Serbian, Italian, and Greek. So let's start with this. Let's hear what this guy is saying, and when we come through something very important, I will stop and I will do some explanation, and I will unveil some things for you to understand. Okay, let's go. First you see the map.
Illyrians are an interesting group because even if they had the same culture, they never really reunited, kind of like the Greeks if you think about it. The Illyrians were in many ways the Vikings of southern Europe in classical times. They were especially known in the Adriatic for being skilled sailors and, of course, pirates. There were many Illyrian tribes. The Ardii is perhaps the most famous and most powerful Illyrian tribe. They were...
Okay, we are going to stop here. Ardii. Ardii, you see the location first. Number one proof. You see the location, this is location of today's Albania. Proof number one. Number two, Ardii. The name Ardi. Name Ardi you cannot find in Serbian language, you cannot find in Macedonian language, you cannot find in Italian language, you cannot find in Greek language. This Ardi, still today they're using the name to giving the to their kids. Only Albanian people, you can find the name, they give the name Ardi or Ardian. This name you can only find in Albanian people. Okay, let's continue.
One of the few tribes able to create a proper kingdom, with land stretching from Montenegro to Albania. We will get more into that later. First, there are a few more tribes worth mentioning. The Daorsi tribe was the only Illyrian tribe to be Hellenized. They adopted Greek.
Bring your business online and start
We need to
selling
skip
with
this.
Shopify, the e-commerce platform that's trusted by over one
Culture and costumes. Their capital, Daorsun, was known for being a Greek oasis in the barbaric lands of Illyria. There were also the Dardani, the Enonians, and the Taulanti. They were three formidable tribes that often worked together to bash Macedonians and Celts in the area. The Dardani are often treated as their own thing, and I did so too, and therefore I made a whole video about them and their kingdom. There were also some Illyrians living outside of Illyria.
Okay, you have seen that he mentioned that they fight against Macedonians. They fight against Macedonians until the Illyrian king have married his sister to Philip II, the father of Alexander. And then these relations have been secured, and Alexander and Philip could focus on conquering Persia. Let's continue.
Such as the Pigeons, the Puseti, the Dardanians, and the Massapians. They lived in today's Apulia and were fierce enemies of the Greek city-state of Taranto, also called Taras. Back in Illyria, in the northern region that today we would call Dalmatia, lived the Dalmatae, a nomadic tribe that fought valiantly against Rome in several occasions. Finally, there were the Grueci and the Pannonians, some of the many Illyrian tribes.
Okay, we are going to continue now. You see, the region now expands to today's Croatia, Slovenia. Even in deep territory of Croatia, there is today one small village called Illyrska Bistrica, which means Illyrian clarity. I need to further explain situation about Illyrians. Name by itself, Illyrian, that they give to their tribe was not based on family ties or race. It was more based on ideology. So many different races, tribes have joined Illyrians because of ideology of freedom. Illyrian means free person or free people. This is direct translation of Illyrian. Illyr means in Albanian free. This word you cannot find in Italian, in Serbian. Illyr that have no meaning. Free man in Serbian means slobodan. It means totally different. This word Illyrian only you can directly find in Albanian roots. Illyr means free man or free person or free people. Let's continue.
That were deeply influenced by their Celtic neighbors. Today, there are many cultures claiming to be partly or entirely related to the Illyrians.
This is
far,
important.
the only people with a somewhat believable claim are the Albanians, but it's still a bit of a stretch.
He says it's still a bit of a stretch. You see, that's why I want to make this video, to unveil the truth. Foundation of Illyrians are direct from Albanian people. But like I say, there was different tribes inside Illyrians. They have accepted them all inside. Whoever wanted to join their ideology of freedom, they have accepted them and they have expanded the region and they have all lived together. Different races, different tribes under one ideology of freedom. So this was meaning of Illyria, but the foundation is directly coming from Illyr, from Albanian region, Albanian language today. Okay, let's continue.
That the Illyrian identity laid in their culture and religion before their language and physical characteristics. Illyrian religion was very well known and it survived up until the late years of Roman Empire. And by survived, I mean it was practiced. Illyrians worshipped the sun as well as several animals such as
He's
horses,
talking about time
snakes, and birds.
BC, before Christ.
Kind of like the Samnites. They practiced cremation.
Today, 90% of Illyrians are Muslims.
Like the ones used by the Etruscans. It seems that the Illyrians did not develop a uniform cosmology on which to center their religious practices, but they were unique nevertheless. Their language is vastly unknown, and we do
Okay,
not
we are going
have
to
a lot
stop
of written
here.
down examples.
Look at this. Do you see the word ENK, which means in Albanian Ankh? This word only you can find in Albanian language. Look at this word Lene in Albanian means lene, means leave him. Only you can find this meaning in Albanian language. You cannot find this meaning lene in Serbian language, you cannot find it in Macedonian language, you cannot find lene in Greek language, you cannot find lene in Italian language. Lene is Illyrian direct word that he managed to find out, is ancient Illyrian word lene, which means leave him. This meaning only have in Albanian language today. No in Greek language, no Serbian, no Macedonian language, and not Italian language. This is what I wanted to point to. Let's continue.
Also, the Illyrian languages, at least coming from Illyrian. The only exception is Messapian in Apulia, which we can assume was highly intelligible to most Illyrians, but we cannot say for sure. It does.
I need to skip this again, sorry about this.
That the videos you are watching are making money whenever you watch them.
Not interested in money.
Have some similarities with Thracian, and Albanian might have traces of a southern Illyrian language, but again, this is pretty much speculation. In warfare, Illyrians were known for being agile and effective. They were organized in small groups, loyal to a tribal chief. Therefore, they rarely united in bigger forces, so they became masters of guerrilla techniques. Warriors who used spears and a small curved sword called the sika.
We need to stop here. He said sword called sika. It is actually not sika, it's thika, but he cannot pronounce that. This word thika you can only find in Albanian language, which means knife. You cannot find this word in Serbian language. For knife they say nož. You cannot find in Macedonian, you cannot find in Italian this word, or Greek. You can only find this word in Albanian language. Thika, which means knife. Let's continue.
Slashing. They also had shields. In the south they were round, but in the north, probably due to the Celtic influence, they also had square and oval shields. Wealthy warriors also wore bronze armor ranging from breastplates to helmets to...
You can see this helmet. It's actually exactly the design of helmet of Alexander the Great. He also have used their direct equipment style.
Illyrians were also great with light cavalry, especially in the north. They loved to throw sharp things at slow infantry units, resulting into a pain in the ass for the Romans to deal with. When it comes to
Of course, because they never let anybody to conquer them. Let's say they give the name to their nation, Illyrian, which makes them very clear to understand. Don't mess around with us, because we are Illyrians. We are free. Nobody can conquer us or enslave us.
and they often sailed around small warships called lambos. They must have been a common sight in the Adriatic at the time. Now that we are done with the details, let's look at some history.
Bring your business online and start selling with Shopify.
Apologize, I
The e-commerce
need to
platform
skip
is
this
trusted
again.
by over
The most important time period for the Illyrians has to be between 250 BC and 160 BC. This time includes the birth and quick expansion of the kingdom of the Ardii, the most powerful Illyrian state, who fought 3 wars against the Romans. However, it was not just the Ardii who fought. A lot of other Illyrian tribes joined them in the wars, therefore we call them the Illyrian Wars instead of the Ardii Wars.
This is what I was talking about. There are different tribes incorporated in Illyrian country. They have accepted them all, as long they followed the ideology of freedom. They was not racist. Even the black people or whatever other race can join in their tribe. That's why they give the name Illyrians. We are free people. There is no difference between us.
150 BC, King Agron became the king of the Ardii. He conquered
We stop here. King Agron. Name Agron you cannot find in Serbian language or Serbian history. There is no person as Agron. You cannot find Agron in Italian history. You cannot find Agron in Greek history. Nowhere. This is direct Albanian name. Even today, you can find so many names Agron in Albanian people. Let's continue.
his way around northern Epirus and southern Illyria. He then built a strong navy and went on many raiding campaigns against and around Greece. In 231, he was succeeded by his wife Helena, who turned their kingdom into a raiding business. A
we are going to stop here. After Agron's death, the charge took Queen Teuta, his wife. People have followed her in respect of her husband. He was a powerful leader, so they have still accepted her to be their leader in order of respect of Agron, because he was very justful.
Raiders to use their ships in
Let's continue again. Teuta name you cannot find in Italian language. Teuta you cannot find in Greek language. Teuta you cannot find in Macedonian language. Teuta you cannot find in Serbian language. Teuta you only can find in Albanian people even today.
exchange for part of their loot. The RDI became feared all over the Mediterranean and attracted the attention of the Romans. Some ambassadors were sent to see Tetwa, who welcomed them and promised them not to use her own forces to attack Italy, but she couldn't do very little to stop her raiders from going there independently. This made one ambassador very angry, and so she killed him. When the Senate found out about this, they declared war on the RDI and attacked Illyria, taking Teuta by surprise. The war ended in 228 BC. Teuta was forced to pay a tribute to Rome for a while and to give up some of their ports. About 10 years later, things got tense between Rome and the RDI again after the new leader Demetrius started raiding Italy more frequently. When Rome attacked, Demetrius was to more protect